What's happening, chaps? And welcome to the latest episode of Chaps Chat with me, Dom.
And me, Ollie.
And we got someone new for you today. So yeah, quite exciting. So we've got our good old chap Dan on the podcast. So thanks for coming, Dan.
It's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure, lads. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Welcome, mate. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
That's all right, mate. Thanks for having us, mate. It's the first one. You know what I mean? It's like they ain't coming out of the woodworks, mate. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're on a search and find mission, but we got Dan here anyway. So yeah, really exciting to start off, I guess, with the first person. So we might be looking back at this one 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. You can say you're the first one
That's
on there,
it, mate. The start of a legacy.
It was me, Dan. But yeah, mate. Like definitely, I'm quite excited and quite keen, man. Because obviously this is what we want to do moving forward. So good to have you, mate.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so I guess when we start off, obviously we've got to know you a little bit on the way up here. Obviously, know you a little bit from around the area and stuff like that.
A few mutuals.
That's it, mate. That's it. But obviously, I'd imagine there'll be some people watching who don't know you, so it'd be good to tell them a little bit about yourself. So they know your name's Dan. If you just want to tell them, I guess, a little intro.
Well, my name's Dan. I'm from Harrow. I do plumbing, and yeah, man. I just I thought I see you boys online. I thought I'd try and get involved with you lot.
Yeah, definitely, because I think Dan was definitely one of the first people to actually like. What we noticed as well was like obviously we've got mutuals and stuff like that, but not outside of people that me and Ollie know through and through. I think you're one of the first people to come on the live and show some love, so that's much appreciated as well. Yeah. And I think it was asking us questions there too, mate. So which was good because like initially you might have been sitting there like someone asked some questions. Do you know what I'm saying? but yeah, so cheers for that one, mate.
For the 3 people we had involved on the live.
No, it's not the numbers. It's not the numbers.
Yeah, but that's it. But you did get stuck in, mate, and we appreciate that.
No, that's
and coming on the live, asking the questions, even getting involved in the DMs, like just introducing yourself and all of that, it goes a long way. So we do appreciate it. And as Dom said, we're really happy to have you on board, mate. Number one. So yeah, we're just looking to get your insight on the whole mental health.
Yeah.
What we've been talking about, how you've been finding our page and our podcast and the sort of benefits that it's given to you, if it has, hopefully.
No, 100%, mate, it has. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Yeah. So I know we got some mutuals, so is that how you came across us the first time?
Yeah, that's how I found you. There's a few people that I know follow you guys, and I see it being shared and that on their stories, and I thought, what's all this about then? And I sort of got involved and looked into you lot, and you're doing the right thing, and what you guys cover, I don't think there's enough of out there, So I thought this is definitely something that, especially as lads as well, that's what we need, man. Just to somewhere to go to and chat about any sort of problems that you might be having regarding mental health.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Because I mean, like, I know for me, like, I kind of have looked for that sort of thing prior to us doing this and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you ever seen anything else like similar to it.
Not really. Not as sort of as I think your the way you sort of your sort of target audience, it's just people like us, you know what I mean? There isn't really sort of anything like that unless you've got a lot of money or anything like that. There's nowhere sort of to go to, to sort of help yourself out,
Yeah, exactly. And that's like our aim as well. It is to, have like-minded people on the show and, to feel relaxed looking at 2 somewhat normal geezers.
How do you define it, really? It's not fucking us, you know what I'm saying?
There's something not fully done there.
Yeah, that's why we're in.
But yeah, just to feel relaxed and be able to reach out. It is a free service that we offer as well. And although we're not therapists and, we haven't got those qualifications, but we state that. But it is just easy to be able to chat and to just express like how you're feeling, feel a bit comfortable with it. Be in the same boat as 2 other chaps who are going through similar things or have been through similar things, and to be able to point you in the right direction, basically. Yeah. So, that's what our aim is, isn't it, Dom?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like, there's so many elements to it, mate. Like, one thing is, for some people, it's just, like, they might not even be in, like, a bad place, but they just, like, supporting the movement as well, which we really appreciate. So, but yeah, the message is just to try and help as many people as possible. But at the same time, just to be honest, it's also helping me and Ollie doing this shit as well. Yeah. So, yeah, mate, it's really positive. But I think, obviously, we've done a couple of episodes with us too, so now it will be good for the audience to see someone else's perspective on mental health as a whole as well.
Yeah.
And that's what we just want, as many perspectives, because I guess the more perspectives you can get, like, there's the more broader amount of information there is for people to see on the subject. But yeah, just to repeat, we are not mental health professionals anyway. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
And it's also good, mate. I just want to get it out there. Dan's a fellow QPR fan.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
indeed, mate.
what's that?
Two in the building
I'm not
now.
good, I'm not good with anagrams,
It's
mate.
a small room, son.
Shit back local.
Yeah.
Shit back local.
Is that the part next to Westfields or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got Spurs. You didn't. Oh, I can't say that. But, yeah. We got Spurs in the house anyway. Come on, Tottenham. But yeah, I don't know when QPR and Tottenham will be playing each other
Next
again
season.
anyway. Yeah.
Next
By the
season,
looks of
mate, it's on the
things.
cards, mate. We're going up.
What position are you now?
Fourth. But we've got
Really?
a game in hand still, yeah. So we're in the playoff.
Big Les still your chairman.
Hey?
Big Les still your chairman. Ferdinand.
Nah, he's
No,
not.
I don't
Is
think
he?
so.
The
No.
chairman, nah.
I thought he used to run that club.
He was helping managing the club.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he's still
right.
involved in all the like staff training and things like that. Good old Les.
Big Les.
Me information on the championship might not be correct.
Yeah,
You know, it's been a long time since I've watched it, you see. So, you know, also, I don't think that's going to do you any good for anyone's mental health watching QPR. You know what I mean?
I stopped ages ago, mate.
No, but yeah, going on to back to the mental health side of things anyway. But yeah, mate, I think just originally, like, obviously, me and Ollie are giving a lot about kind of our perspective and on outside of ourselves, just on mental health as an issue in the UK at the moment for men specifically. So, I mean, from your side, I mean, what's your kind of perspective on how things are in the country at the moment with that subject?
Yeah, I think is definitely is a big stigma around it, and a lot of men I find don't find it easy to talk about it, you know, and they sort of bring, you know, they go through stuff and they'd rather just sort of bottle it in and just get on with life, you know, try and put a smile on their face and crack on with stuff. And I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I think bringing it up to guys like yourselves and talking about the situation, you know, I think a problem shared is a problem halved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's you know, and being able to understand that you can talk about it, and there's, you know, you ain't no different person by talking about it.
Yeah.
I think that should definitely be encouraged, 100%.
Wicked. You know, that's really good. The problem shared is a problem halved.
It is.
Sure, Dom's tried to say that on one of the
Oh
episodes.
mate, I like to. I come up with all these sayings. Here's another saying. I never fucking get it right. So yeah.
But no, as you're saying there, mate, that is the truth as well. And just by firstly speaking to anyone about it is, you know,
that could be the
first
hardest step. It could be the hardest step.
Exactly, yeah. But once you do conquer that, and you know you've taken that step, you're on the right journey, and you're doing yourself good. So, you know, hats off to you as well, mate.
No, absolutely, man.
And yeah, as we said, like, we appreciate it, and it's good to have you on, definitely.
Yeah, definitely,
so,
mate.
in terms of that, you know, the whole stigma around it, is it something that you've been familiar with in?
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people have, you know, definitely gone through little bouts and little stages of not feeling good, and sometimes you don't realise what it is, you know, until it goes on for a while, you know, and then other people talk about it. If you know what, I felt like that. You know, you hear one guy talking about, you know, I felt like that, and you relate to it in a way, and yeah, man. What was the question again? I forgot the question now.
Yeah,
that's all right, because
That's
I'll crack on a bit from there as well, because it's confusing. That's what I felt for myself originally, because like obviously I think like back in the day for me, like certain things I was getting, obviously my situation was a little bit different. Like I was suffering quite a bit from depression, where you get like you kind of get physical like symptoms from it, and it's like I wouldn't want to get out of bed and shit, and it's like, but you don't, at the time, like not knowing anything about it, because like another thing, this isn't taught in schools. Like they don't really teach anything about this. Like, and obviously everyone's feeling this because like no one goes through life and they're like the happiest as they can be every single moment. Like, and it comes back to that thing that I think we spoke about a little bit before about finding that middle ground as well. But it's just one of those ones like bottling that up, like you said. It's probably just going to make the issue worse.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, 100%. And it is that, because you can't actually define what is going on, because it's, you know, at the start it's a new feeling and you're not familiar with it. So, you know, we've discussed before that it could almost feel like it's normal to feel that way.
Yeah.
Because it does go on for so long.
Yeah.
But in reality, of course, it's not. And that's why we're doing that, is to pull it out there, that, you know, to give people the advice and the information that when you do get these feelings, this is what it can be.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is how you sort of want to move forward from that feeling. But yeah, it's good to hear.
Because like, sorry mate, I'm thinking off the back of that question what you mentioned about like not really, like, you don't see it anywhere. Like, you don't, like, who, like, I just think, like, who's actually comes up to you and says, like, oh, like, I've been experiencing this in any place. So you kind of know that, like, even if you're not at that point where you're feeling at the moment, that if you were in that point, you could kind of identify it. Like, you'd think they'd have someone going into schools teaching about mental health, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Like, I'm sure they must have, like, I'm sure they have counsellors and stuff in schools. So I remember that I never saw one in school, but, like, I remember there being I'm sure there was one counsellor in our school, but, like, I know I went to a school like 2,500 people, and, like, is one person enough for that? I don't know. I definitely think there needs to be investment across the board to kind of battle this stigma as a whole.
Yeah.
Just because it's like anything, when something's quite entrenched in culture, it's very hard to change that. But, like, it starts with kind of changing it for one generation, I guess, to then move forward, which is obviously hopefully what we can do to reach people through YouTube anyway, mate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, what you're saying there, like, you know, when you're in school and things, and you're feeling these feelings, that's the perfect time to tackle it and to get information on it, and, you know, to be guided down the right path. But when you're in school, you know, there's a counsellor there. Are you really going to be wanting to go to a counsellor, knowing all your powers and that, and to be speaking about in the playground, or maybe getting taken out of class to go to a counselling session? It's really tough, especially when you're that young. Do you know what I mean? Because you just want to be one of the lads. And,
you want to be the same as everyone else, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
And that shows you that stigma's probably in place at that age then. If people, like, if we're thinking that then, because probably maybe even more so as a young person than an older person. I know the older you get in life, it's kind of like, once you know more who you are, it's kind of like you only care about the opinions of people who you value. So I got some fucking eye, but yeah. So, I find it weird that there's not those kind of, I guess, more of a support network, because, like, we learn in school, we learn things young. So when we get to an older age, we know them, like, clearly, like, so we haven't learned that young, so that's probably why no one knows anything about it. Well, not much about it anyway, but we're here to tell you. So yeah, but yeah, like, definitely, I think, the stigma is the most important thing that needs to get broken. Like, but it's going to be a journey over time, and it's going to obviously take a lot of effort from a lot of people. But I know there's a lot of other people obviously working within the mental health services that have been doing great stuff for a long time as well. 100%. So, and hopefully we can get some of those people on in the future as well, just to give their perspective and some, I guess, certified advice, we could say. But yeah, so outside of that, mate, I know we spoke about why you wanted to come on the podcast and things like that, but was there anything, I guess, in particular that you wanted to speak about, or?
Yeah, I suppose, you know, it's the going out and, you know, the drinking and, you know, the socialising, you know, involving going out and drinking, like, that's a big one, you know, it's a big one. And there's a fine line between going out and enjoying yourself for a few drinks and going out to just get off your head.
Yeah,
and,
to
you know,
abuse it.
And the way, you know, the moderation of it all, I think, has a big effect on people. You know, millions of people of our age go out and they drink to
100%,
you know, to socialise, and there's quite a big number of them who go out and they take overboards. And I think the knock-on effect of overindulging in alcohol and stuff like that is a big part to play on people's mental health, you know. I'm not sure about you guys, but, you know, the ones when you go out and have a few drinks on a Saturday night and you overdo it and you feel shit on Sunday and Monday, and, you know what I mean? And, you know, and it just sort of takes its toll, you know. It's just, like I said, the knock-on effect of abusing alcohol, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it.
It carries over, mate. Like, and it's like, there's a fight. There's different lines as well. It's like, mate, it could be even the fact of like you just go out and like just have a good night out, and it'll still leave you feeling shit the next day, because you don't have to drink much of it to put you in that mode, right? It's not a case like someone, like, because obviously there are people who are obviously serious in their abuse of alcohol, like, and then for them that's one end. But I feel like there's an end where a lot of young people are at the moment, where it's like, it's just a weekly thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm saying this because it's something that I've experienced as well. But what was difficult for me was to kind of break that cycle, just because that's what everyone's doing, sort of thing. And it's a difficult one, because fair enough, like, not even if you're young, right, you have to be able to do things to, like, I'm not saying, well, to enjoy life, right? And it shouldn't be, you don't want to be in a case where you feel like you can't do something just due to personal discipline, which it was a place that I've been before. So, but to rectify that, for me, it was kind of like, I don't know, sometimes it's just kind of just taking yourself out of certain situations helps a lot, I feel. But yeah, I feel like it's quite a widespread problem. But fair play to yourself, mate, because I feel and to us, to be honest as well. I don't think a lot of people will be able to, who are young, especially coming out and saying it.
It's not because it's the normal though, right? Like when you look at things in terms of you're going out to meet your friends, everything revolves around a drink.
Yeah, it does.
There's
it
not
does.
enough things to do without
That's the
having a
meeting
drink.
point, innit? You know, over a beer, innit?
Over a beer, yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, like it can be nice sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But even when we're looking at things like where you're trying to do something else, like if you go try and play golf or something, go to a driving range, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's alcohol, mate.
Yeah.
There's alcohol there.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Bowling.
Bowling, alcohol, cinema, you can have a beer, mate.
Can you? I didn't even know you could do that now.
I see some
Fucking hell.
I see some geezers grab a couple of beers like going to watch a film.
Fucking hell.
To me, that's a bit
Mate,
mad, do you know what
how
I mean?
long have pubs been in this country though? Like pubs is there. That's what I mean. It's entrenched in the culture.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It's like I don't know. I like.
It's the UK, and to be fair, like we love a drink.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's true,
Like,
mate. It's true, but
it's all up and down the country, but it is the knock-on effect what you're saying there. So, you know, going out Saturday, taking it a little bit too far into Sunday or whatever, and regretting that and feeling shit about it for the next 4 days until you feel a bit better and you're not hanging and then you're ready to go again.
Yeah,
It's a big cycle with that. And that's like what was affecting me as well a lot. So I had to sort of knock that out, because it was constantly I didn't feel normal and I didn't feel sober. Do you get me?
Yeah, of course.
So you're always like either feeling hungover because alcohol's still in your system or you're fucking drunk. And that's not good because like you don't actually know like yourself and like have a clear mind and be able to, you know, do positive things like that.
Yeah.
Because you're just waiting for the next weekend to have a drink.
Yeah.
Then you're spending a lot of money. That's another thing that can put you down during the week. You think, I've just done a week's graft and I've just...
it's not cheap to drink, is it?
No, it's not cheap to drink. Nah.
Not anymore, anyway.
It's like £6 a pint.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
£6 a pint.
Exactly.
It's nuts.
Shout out Weatherspoons,
they're doing it down there.
They support the working man.
They can do with a bit of music in there.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Bruv. Fucking hell.
But yeah, that's it. And it is a cycle, mate. And there's so many young people out there that won't admit it.
Yeah.
And, you know, say, yeah, but like I like going out and things, and that's not a problem. We don't like we've never said to anyone don't go out, like you shouldn't drink and all that, because it's nice to do it in moderation when you have control.
Yeah, a bit of balance, innit? A bit of
That's
balance.
it.
You know what I mean?
But I think as well, like maybe a lot of young people, like cause you got to probably they look around and everyone's doing the same thing as them. So even if something feels wrong about yourself, you look around, everyone's doing the same thing. Like you're gonna think, well, that can't be wrong if everyone's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, like there comes, I guess there's a certain kind of like place that you can hit sometimes where you're obviously going to know maybe things aren't where they need to be. But yeah, like, I mean, you got to enjoy yourself when you're young, right? But again, like, that's when you're young, you're going out all the time. Fair play, like when you're like, if you're like 18, right? You're new into that area of things in the world. But the thing is, that culture, again, like, what we learn over time is like becomes our habit. So then that's why people, when they get to like, further down the line in their life, like even like middle-aged life into older life, they're still stuck in that same cycle again. Like, do you know what I mean? That they were before, but because that's kind of never been broken. And again, like I think you mentioned like hobbies, it's like not having time filled, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, like it's kind of like I had to go out and kind of find some hobbies to do. Do you know what I mean? Because like I wasn't really filling the weekends too much. Like and watching TV and that, like just sitting there all day. That's like the time you have outside of work. Is that the best way to spend it?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't know, mate.
You got to find hobbies. You know, idle hands. Find. You know, it's not a good thing. You know, you get up then doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Like drinking is a cycle that you could fall quite easily into, especially when you've got friends who do it a lot. You know, so like you said, you got to find hobbies to fill spare time and that.
100%, and that comes back to as well like your surroundings and your friendship groups. Yeah, because most men our age or even younger or whatever, you know, the boys are going to meet in a pub. The boys do want to go to the pub and have a laugh, and do you know what I mean? So it's hard to do that, especially when all your friends are doing it, but you don't want to do that.
Nah.
But there's nothing else for you to do, right? And that's a hard thing as well. So you sort of got to train your mind to, you know, find a hobby, whether that is just exercising or going to the gym or whatever. You can just sort of focus on that, and the benefits that you personally get out of it and the feelings that you get will sort of replace that, you know, I'm missing out tonight.
Yeah, of course.
That excitement. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's
excitement,
like,
and you ain't going to be missing out when all your pals are hanging or, you know, potentially
exactly.
still up the next day
exactly.
when you've been in the gym and you're feeling good and you're ready for Monday to have a good week at work or
Yeah,
whatever.
absolutely.
That sort of feeling is unmatched, and I've learned that recently, mate. So
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good thing to do.
And it's like the difficult thing as well is probably until that like later, like depending on what the night is, till later that night or until that morning, you fucking had a good night.
Yeah.
Because you're not in it when you're in it. You're not sitting there saying this is fucking terrible. Very far from the fact. But
It's amazing.
But in the morning, mate, that's when it kind of hits, and it's like then you think back, and it's like not even like was it worth it? And it's like not even it's like you couldn't do it. Like you can't go out and full stop. It's like you could have gone, but you could have gone out. Took it in moderation, like you said, and then you would have been sweet the next day, which is really what it's about, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's easier said than done, mate. Easier said than done.
It is, definitely. And you know what? When you're in a good place in life anyway, and you're not like, you know, trying to drink too much and trying to put all your energy into that and going out, then when you do go out and you want to have a few beers, you sort of in the habit of not taking it that step too far. Because you don't want to feel like how you used to felt before, because you want to keep the feeling of feeling good.
Yeah.
And that's when you can actually wake up in the morning. You might have a bit of a sore head, but you go, do you know what? Last night was an actually really good night, so I don't mind a bit of a sore head today.
Yeah.
It's the fact that when you go out and it's a shit night, really, and you're just drinking, you wait up thinking, what was the point of that, mate? You know what I mean?
Of course.
I'm 100 quid down. I'm going to feel shit now. I don't even want to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
All of that. There's so many, like, cons to that.
Yeah.
But again, it's about your surroundings and what you're trying to focus on.
100%, man.
Yeah, I think we've already said cons there. If we just wrote down the pros and cons of it, I think that would be quite revealing.
Mate,
you know
by
what I mean?
tenfold. I reckon there'd be more cons tenfold than there is from the pros. You know what I mean?
100%.
You know what I mean? Well, there'd be one pro. I think you got drunk and you had a good time. You know what I mean? But apart from that, there's but 10 negatives.
And you pulled a salt.
Yeah.
Right, 2 pros.
Fucking with what was I gonna say with the hobbies thing as well? Like filling the time, yeah, mate. Like it's like there are fucking loads of things to do when you think about it in the big scale of things. But again, I think where some people get caught sometimes is like they're trying to make that change, want to do something, but they feel like, oh, who am I going to do it with? Because no one else wants to do it.
Yeah.
And one thing I'd say on that, like generally, like maybe go and do something on your own. Sometimes, like doing stuff on your own is cool as well. I feel like people don't really like to do stuff on their own. Like
100%.
Yeah, because like even like go to restaurants. Like some people really wouldn't want to go out and eat on their own, but I feel like you got to kind of embrace every aspect of life a little bit, right? But but yeah, like don't wait about is what I mean. Like for someone else to come with you. Do you know what I mean? Like if no one wants to, do you know what I mean? Obviously, hopefully someone wants to come with you.
But no, you're right though. Because not everyone does, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because other people are more focused on, no, I want to go and have a beer today or something.
Yeah.
Or you know, whatever they're doing, sweet. But you're bang on there because like that's taking yourself out of your comfort zone to do something on your own, but it's something that you actually want to do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And just by doing that, might then introduce that new hobby to, or introduce something that is a positive thing in your life.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. Do you know what I mean? If you think you're going to look like a muppet doing it alone, don't reach out to us. We'll come with you. But like, at
depending
the end of the
what
day,
you're doing.
100%. But at the end of the day, like what we were saying in previous episodes is that mental health is all about like not letting the judgment of others come into your mind and let that weigh you down.
Yeah, no, of course. That's a big thing as well.
Yeah, and you just got to stand your ground sometimes for yourself, and you know it's a benefit for me. I don't care how it looks to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's about putting yourself first in it, I suppose, in a sense. You know, it's like you got to be happy within yourself, innit? You know what I mean? It takes a lot of self-love to go out and enjoy your own company and do something on your own. You know what I mean? Which a lot of people don't do. You know, you feel a bit like a loner and all that going out on your own, but it's something you should encourage. You know, take yourself out and treat yourself. You know what I mean? Do things for yourself and not for other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. It's like don't get me wrong. Like I ain't saying like, do you know, I'll never go out with your pals again. Just go out on your own all the time. But like, Joe,
Millstone Raider.
He's local as well, isn't he? He's local, mate. We see him back in the day in the pub, didn't we? God, mate. But,
I see him not long ago.
Did you? Well, you two are pals, aren't you?
Yeah, we are.
Spit. The best of friends.
Lookalikes.
Oh, where was it we saw him?
some pub in.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Years ago, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. When he was on
It
the
actually
scene.
was like when it was current though. I think like when he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like when he was all about. Yeah. Fuck it, all about. But,
Oh, maybe we might get him on. Who knows?
yeah. Just go around Harrow Will, look for the boozers and see
Yeah,
who's in
exactly. You see
there.
about having a punch up with someone.
Fucking hell, but yeah, mate. I think this kind of the next question, kind of leading on to, because I think what's been good in this chat so far is just like we've got quite a broad perspective as a whole from like people looking in. It's like I feel like we've covered a lot of little bits like around like kind of obviously like the hobby side a bit. Obviously, like kind of going out on your own. Do you know what I mean? Do it. Yeah, no. But like obviously, I just wanted to look at a bit like what can change this, because it's all good talking about how the way things are, but how do we change this? And obviously, we're trying to do Chaps Chat to try and impact that. But I mean, I'd be keen to hear your perspective on anything that you think could help in general for people with mental health issues.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I mean, for what you guys are doing, I think it covers quite a lot. You offer your, you allow people to DM you whenever. You know what I mean? Any problems that they've got, there's nowhere you can really sort of do that. Now you can talk to people and that, but just talking to like just genuine, normal guys, average guys like ourselves, that's a big thing in itself. Like, and that's one of the first steps. Talking about it and being approachable. It's a big thing that you offer. And I think like you guys are going the right way about it. In terms of what you could actually introduce, I'm not too sure. I think you guys, you do. I think you offer a good service. You know what I'm saying? As it is, and what you're doing really is enough. I think.
Appreciate it. Yeah. No, it goes a long way, obviously, to hear it, doesn't it? So like, we do appreciate it, mate.
Yeah.
And like in terms of Chaps Chat and what we want to do, it is just to be open like that.
Yeah.
And to it doesn't matter who you are, what your story is, what scenarios you're going through, or whatever it is. Like, we are there to talk and have a chat. As we said, we're not mental health professionals, but as long as it's giving people that introduction to say, look, I'm here to talk, and you ain't going to judge you for it.
Yeah.
And you can speak freely to how you like and when you want to, then, that's a big
100%.
opening, isn't it?
Definitely.
And
it's good.
Changing things in terms of, the whole going out and that. Like, we were speaking earlier, Dan, and you said that you haven't, been out.
Last couple of weeks, mate, I switched it right up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From someone who was drinking, a couple of times a week, easy, to no drink, And I don't miss it. I don't feel any, I feel a lot better. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. You know what I mean? It's definitely something I should have done a while ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So is it a feeling that is now like attractive to you?
Yeah.
Feeling like being fresh.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, mate. Them weekends we used to wake up to them hangovers.
Yeah.
I do not miss that at all. At all. So that is good, and it encourages you to do other things. Once you stop doing one thing, it opens up doors to other stuff,
100%.
You know what I mean?
Look, well done anyway for doing it. Because I understand, we understand how hard it is to do that.
Yeah.
So hats off to you, and just try and maintain it, stick at it. As we say, it's not a bad thing, to go out and have a drink when it's in control. But if you're on a sort of journey where you want to stay off it for a bit longer, then do that. Because for me, the first month where I stopped drinking fully, after a month, things changed a lot for me, mate. Yeah, massively. And that's just look at it as in 4 weekends. Right, stay in for 4 weekends. Your money goes up first of all.
Yeah.
The freshness of everything goes up.
Yeah.
You're a lot more for me, I was a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You're more present as well, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and more open to talking to new people and having conversations that I wasn't usually having.
Yeah.
And that's just because that was the person that I actually was. But when I was going out, I was covering it up with this other person just who was drunk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's not my character.
No, definitely not.
Drinking doesn't define your character. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When you're sober and doing everyday life and how you conduct yourself in those scenarios, it's who you are. That's your character.
100%. Yeah.
So if it is a journey that you want to take a little bit further, then my advice is definitely do it.
Yeah, that's it. Stick at it, innit?
100%.
Yeah, mate. So I think it's just it's such a difficult one for everyone in terms of like just I guess getting to a point where you make that choice from your mindset as well. Like obviously from obviously it's a choice that Ollie's made himself. Like from my side, I'm still in a place where not made that choice myself. Obviously just based on I guess the way I'm feeling at this point. But don't get me wrong. Like I know it's been something that from my side that has had to be a bit more. Well, definitely more in moderation in more recent times, even from last year. I think middle of last year was probably from when I've been a bit more on top of that myself. But you definitely do see the benefits. It's like, for example, like what Ollie just said there about like you coming into yourself more and you realising doing these things. It's like, obviously we're here, right, doing this. Like, and then I spoke about a couple of bits I'm doing on the side that before. And it's like, I wasn't in the mindset to do these things before I was in a place where I'm not going to, for me, it's not stop drinking, but for me, it's just had control to an extent, right? Then come over to how I did before. And I think like when you start seeing those things come out yourself, it's such a benefit, and that will motivate you as well to kind of make. And it's not there's all like mental health wise, there's always multiple changes that kind of need to be made. And don't get me wrong, like it's not, like the good period doesn't last forever. Like neither does the bad period. There's always that middle ground, right? Yeah. And that's where we need to lie on things because we can't. I think, and for myself, I was thinking about this the other day. So I'm quite naturally a very positive person now, and I think like sometimes it needs to be a case of like you can't be the top of positive all the time, and you can't be the bottom of negative. And this is kind of finding, I guess, where it is for you, which then leads into kind of having more control on these things as well. But yeah, I think that this has been probably one of the most insightful chats that we've done on here yet. I think generally, mate. Like good. Not because we got you here, but definitely like I think having an extra person has brought out a bit. Not like we put a lot out there before, to be honest, but brought out a little bit like more like in terms of different perspectives. And I keep getting different things popping up into my head that are coming out of my mouth. So yeah,
but when as you say in there about can't always be good, can't always be bad. When you go down, the only way is up anyway. So as we always say, and that there's always that light. There's always better things on the horizon. Yeah. Might take a little bit of time, but once you get there, it's a different feeling, isn't it?
It's making the right choices, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You keep doing what you're doing, you're going to carry on getting what you're getting, and you've got to switch up a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And is there anything that you wanted to ask us, Dan?
Where'd you get your hair done?
Yeah, exactly. That fade is looking quite sharp. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
Shout out Moods. You know the local one.
But no, I think we covered everything I wanted to talk about. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm happy with what we've spoke about. Definitely, we touched a few things that definitely need to be spoke about today. So
definitely, mate.
Right, you feeling good though?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, bruv. I'm feeling good. 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm feeling fresh.
Come on, that's it.
It's good, man. It's good.
Well, you know what time it is now, don't you? My favourite time of the episode. The quote of the day.
I've been waiting for this.
Let's see if I get this one right. It's like sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. So the quote of the day, and the reason why I chose this one, right, is because obviously what we're speaking about today, I think there's been an element of discipline around what we've been speaking about and how discipline can affect and obviously help you change your life to the way you want to. And another way to put it was, I guess, having more control. So the quote I chose was, "You can never conquer the mountain. You can only conquer yourself."
That's a good one.
Let's break it down. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Break it down. But well, the way I look at this, it's like we got us. We are who we are. Yeah. Like a mountain's a big thing. Most mountains are pretty big in my experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be hard for one man like me to conquer the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Where I can do it, we'll see what happens. But what I can conquer is myself. Like in life, the only thing we have full control over is ourselves.
Yeah.
So really and truthfully, there's no fucking excuses. Do you know what I'm saying? It's difficult. It's difficult, right? But we can only conquer ourselves. So I think like having that ownership of yourself and your own problems will definitely help you in the mental health journey, because it's very, and I've been there myself, it's very easy to blame your problems on other things, or not necessarily people, but there's other situations in life. And I used to be, when I was younger, I used to be someone who used to feel quite sorry for myself in sometimes the situation I was in, when really I wasn't in a bad situation at all. Like it can always be worse. So if anything, I was in quite a fortunate situation in the big scale of things, right? Or a very fortunate situation. So kind of knowing that, and it's taken me to kind of conquer myself, or in a sense like gain full control of myself and my thoughts and my actions, to kind of get to a point where it's led me to be able to do the things I want to do in life. And that's what I took from that myself. But we'll be keen to know obviously your guys' opinions on that particular quote.
I think it's about practicing gratitude as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? There's always someone out there who's got it worse than us. You know what I mean? That is true. You know, we live in a good country. You know, there's no reason to be feeling like we've got it bad. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just like looking at your perspective of things and just being a bit more grateful for what we've got. You know, and just practicing gratitude really on a daily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, mate, to interrupt. It was just for me. It was like I think like when I was really like probably in the worst depression. It's like when you're there. It's like sometimes it's like how did I get here? So it's like you're kind of almost like clutching at straws for reasons. But it's like then that's part of the journey to then realise that the reasons is something you have to come to yourself, and then you can only conquer yourself once you've identified them. But yeah, like it's obviously mirroring what Dan said there, like when I was in that place, like feeling sorry for myself got me fucking nowhere. So like I would obviously recommend against that, but it's easier said than done to bring yourself out of that. I can obviously appreciate.
Yeah, 100%. It is difficult to do that because it might feel like you need to go through that emotion for a bit in order to gain the gratitude afterwards.
Yeah.
So again, it's not really like a time thing because you can't put any time on it on any sort of mental health illness because you don't know. So like having to go through the shit feelings to get to the good feelings is part of the journey. And in terms of like the whole mountain metaphor is for me like the problems always seem so much more, and they seem like it's a mountain that you can't conquer. So this is going to be it for you.
Yeah.
Now you either just deal with it and accept that this is who you are and carry on your life going through all these struggles, all these mental health problems. But that's not okay. You can't do that.
No.
The whole thing with the mountain is you got to start fucking climbing it.
Yeah.
And it's not an overnight journey, but once you do start climbing it and you find that middle ground, that's good for you. So you have conquered yourself. You've proven to yourself that you are better than the person you thought you was.
Yeah.
When you was going through a hard time, and you are someone who is strong.
Absolutely.
So it's a really good quote. They always are.
Always love his quotes, mate.
Yeah, whoever's picking them, mate. I don't know. Oh yeah, so I've already said I'll pick them. So yeah, scrap that one. No, I knew I did. But yeah, mate. Like I think that is one I managed to say it right as well. So it's always a plus. Usually I get them wrong. So
you got this, bro.
Yeah, I got it. But yeah, well, been a fucking great episode, lads.
Wicked, yeah.
That's been good. I've enjoyed it, man. Enjoyed it.
It's been a pleasure, Dan, honestly. And again, thank you for coming on.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate the support.
Anytime, mate.
Yeah, and anytime. Hopefully, again, in the future, we can touch base and potentially get you back on the show.
That'd be great, mate. That'd be good.
But look, what you're doing at the minute and how you seem and everything that's going on, you should be proud of yourself, mate, because you seem really positive. You seem on the right track, yeah?
Yeah.
And as always, if you need to chat, we're here to chat, mate, yeah?
I know you got. I'm in your DMs, man. Don't worry about it.
Top, man.
Cool. Well, yeah. Thanks for having us. Anyway, chaps, it's been me, Dom.
And me, Ollie.
And our pal, Dan.
And me, Dan.
Yeah.
Have a good one. See you later.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Nice one, lads.